Hello you guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, you're watching Booked on Charity, and in today's video I'll be sharing with you my fantasy romance TBR stack that I have for 2024. I've got a stack of books next to me, and it is books that I am trying to get to before the end of this year. There's a lot of craze around fantasy romance, but I also really love fantasy with romance in it, so I thought maybe I should show you guys some of the books that are on my radar. And specifically, I wanted to do this because I want to record specific reading vlogs for fantasy romance books. So I've got 12 books to show you guys, and in each reading vlog I will be reading 3 books, which means that I'll have 4 videos for you guys. I already actually have one video, but that was like the Crescent City vlog, which was essentially fantasy romance. So yeah, without wasting any more time, let's get into this video. The first 2 books I have are from the same series. They don't complete the series, but they are the books that I have on hand. Also, I must just put a disclaimer that this TBR might change depending on the books that I haul in the next couple of months. Things might change around. I haven't really had a look at which fantasy romance books are coming out for the rest of the year, but if something does come up and it intrigues me, I will probably add it to TBR. But the goal for each reading vlog would be to read 3 fantasy romance books. So to start off, I've got Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas is one of my favorite authors. So the first basically fantasy romance vlog I did was for the Crescent City, and I'm completely up to date now with that series, which I think it might be complete. I have no idea. But I started Throne of Glass early in the year. I read books, or was it last year? But I've already read book 1 and 2, and I've recently procured book 3 and book 4 for myself. So I've got Heir of Fire, and then I've got Empire of Storms, and I'm really excited. I really love the slow burn romance that Sarah J. Maas writes in her books, and same as in this one. In book 1 and book 2, they were more like friendship type relationship, and it's only now when the romance is starting to kind of like build, which I really enjoy that about her writing. So we've got the next 2 books in the Throne of Glass series that I'm busy with, and then the next 2 books I have is also from a series. It's also not to complete the series, but just to propel me forward in the series, because I do want to finish it hopefully this year. But also I don't know if it's done, because I thought that I had all the books, but then a new release came out, so I'm not sure. But I've got Glint, which is the 3rd book in the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. I wanted to make sure not to say Kennedy Ryan. By Raven Kennedy. I read book 1 and I enjoyed it. I gave it like a 4-star rating, and then I read book 2, which I thought was just boring. And it has kind of like slowed me down in my progress to try and finish this series. So I am trying to now get myself back into the interest of reading it. So yeah, I've got Clint, which is book 3, and then I've got Gleam, which is book 4. Is this the right order? Oh wait, this is book 3. Oh, sorry. So first it's Gleam. Did I read Glint? Am I getting confused? This is book 2. So this is the one I read. So never mind. This one is not going into my TBR. It means that this one must go into my TBR. Glow. So Glow is book 4. Yes. So we've got book 3 and we've got book 4. Book 4 is Glow. I saw that there is book 5, which is called Gold, and I thought this was the last one, but obviously not. I don't know if Gold is the last one in the series, but we'll have to see. I do though actually like that they put the sequence, the number sequence of where this book falls in the series. So yeah, we've got Gleam, and then we've got glow. Next up, I've got a book that I am told is more on the romance side than it is on the fantasy side, and that is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross, and I've heard really good things about it, so I'm going at it with the mindset of not getting too much fantasy plot, but more of the romanticy side, chemistry between these two characters. So yeah, looking forward to reading this one. I'm not reading any of these synopses in these books because I don't know which ones I'm going to pick up next. So I think I want to keep it just bland. It's just a TBR video of what I'm trying to plan ahead, and I'm doing this also to encourage myself to actually do these reading vlogs. So yeah, I've got Divine Rivals, and then I've got Throne of the Fallen by Kerry Maniscalco, which I haven't heard a lot of things about the book specifically, but I've heard good things about the author and the way that they write. They are known for their purple prose, and yeah, I can't wait. So this one says, a wicked prince, a fallen painter, lets the games begin. So there is a love story somewhere, but I don't know, and I don't know if this is set in the same world as Wicked Kingdom. I hope not, because I've never read Wicked Kingdom, and I don't think I'm going to be picking it up anytime soon, but I really do want to read this one. This is an adult fantasy romance book which has a very pretty cover, and it has really pretty illustrations on the inside of like plants, rose, like bushes, keys, things that I guess are relevant to the story. So yeah, I'm looking forward to finally picking this one up. And then a book that I've had for quite a long time, and the reason I got this trilogy was so that I have a little bit of background before I go into the next series, because the author has so many books and I'm not really interested in going through the backlist and reading everything. But this series is kind of like where I wanted to start, so I want to give myself a chance to try again to actually start this series. What is in here? Oh my gosh, I've got, look what I found inside the book. This is how long it's been. I had a prompt for it. Read a book that you find intimidating. Definitely find this intimidating. And that is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Dark Artifices series, which is, it's not a prequel, but I've heard people say that if I want to get into that series, which is the Lost Hours trilogy, this would be a good place to kind of like start. So I've been holding off reading that until I finish this, but it's been taking me so long just to get into this one, so I want to try and get motivated to actually read the series. And all of them are like quite chunky books, which I don't usually mind, but my reading this year has been quite slow, but we trying to pick it up now. So yeah, we'll see how this is gonna go. But I've got Lady Midnight, and then another book that I've had also for the last 2 years, actually, yeah, hello, 2nd year anniversary. This is The Final Strife by Sarah L. Arifi. This is an arc that I have. I've never actually gotten the final copy, the finished copy of this one. However, I do have book 2 in here. But yeah, I still want to read this. I hope there's not going to be anything that would bother me, since this is a unfinished copy. I hope that is good, but it's quite floppy. This is a chunky floppy book, which is quite nice, but I've heard amazing things like about this book, about The Final Strife, so I'm really looking forward to picking it up really soon. I need to figure out on these reading vlogs if I want to have, it might actually be very difficult to have some form of theme going, so I'm just gonna pick books as I'm in the mood for them, unless I can actually find books that fit a certain theme, maybe books with like fae, or I don't even have vampire books, but we'll see how I figure it out. But if you guys have any recommendations of which books I need to group together to read in a romantasy reading vlog, please let me know in the comments down below. And then I've got somewhat of a retelling, but it's also giving fantasy vibes. I don't even actually know. Oh, I don't even know if this is fantasy vibes. Is it? I hope there is a fantasy vibe. I'm just making assumptions now. But this one is called Fair Rosalind, and this is by Natasha Solomons. And it says at the top, before Romeo loved Juliet, he loved Fair Rosalind. And it says the greatest love story of all time was a lie. Like, this tagline already like gives me the excitement of wanting to pick this book up. So I'm really excited for it. I don't know if it's just romance. I feel like a part of me always believed that there is some fantastical elements to this, but if it's not a lot of like fantasy, that maybe I will read it with Divine Rivals, because also it's Divine Rivals is quite light on the fantasy side. So I think this will definitely be a nice pairing with those two books. And then an author that is very well known, but I've never really read anything from them, and they well known for writing fantasy romance, and that is Jennifer L. Armentrout, and this one is called Fall of Ruin and Wrath. This is a new book in a new series. I know that she has another series that she's written, and it got popular. People loved some of the books, but not all of them. And yeah, I don't know, but this is a brand new world, and I don't know if I want to go back to the other one, but I'm happy to start right here. So I'm looking forward to this one. I don't even know what it's about, but yeah, it says she survives on her intuition, he thrives on her pleasure. Spicy. Sounds like spicy things going on in here, but looking forward to the reading this one. And then a book that I am really excited about. I wish I had more like vampire inspired romances, because this one will be one of the ones that I pick up really soon, but then I don't know which other books to kind of like pair it with. So yeah, this one is called The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it is by Carissa Broadband, and it is the first book in the Nightborn duet, and it's also a Crowns of Nyaxia novel. So there might be maybe a couple of books coming in to the same world, but this is part of a duology. The second book was already out. Looking forward to grabbing that, and it will be nice to just read both of them at the same time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to reading this one. I think I'm more like, if I have to look at my pile, this is probably like the top of my list in terms of books that I'm really excited to read for my fantasy romance vlog. So I really hope it's good, because it does have vampires. It says The Hunger Games meets vampires in this heart-wrenching epic fantasy romance of dark magic and bloodthirsty intrigue from the best-selling author Carissa Broadband. So looking forward to this one, and it's absolutely stunning. I saw the paperbacks the other day. They're also like really nice, and I can't wait to get into the story. And then the last book I have on this list is called The Hurricane Wars, and this one is by Thea Guanzon and Ziran J. Zhao, who is the author of Iron Widow, says that this is a masterpiece. Say at the back it says, the Night Empire casts a long shadow over the land. Nothing can stand in the way of its might and power. Year by year, the hurricane wars take, and yet there is hope in the darkness. One lone light stands against the empire. So looking forward to reading this one. That is it for this video. Let me know if you have any recommendations for me, for any romanticies that I should add to my TBR. Please leave them in the description down below, and let me know which books you would like to see in the same video, as maybe kind of like a comparison between the different authors. And yeah, I will try my best to give you all of that. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, share this video with their friends and family so that more people can find my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.